Welcome to Temple Baptist Church here in Poplar, Bluff, Missouri. We're glad to be with you for a short devotional today, a little bit of sharing of God's Word. And I call your attentions to 1 Corinthians chapter 1. And like I say, I usually just take one verse out of the verses that I give you and do a little talk about that. But if you want to look at verses 20 through 31, you're certainly welcome to do that. We're not going to in the amount of time today, but we're going to look at chapter 1 and verse 25, and it says this: because the foolishness of God is wiser than man, and the weakness of God is stronger than man. Now, if we've done a little bit of study on Corinthians, it was a cosmopolitan city, I guess, that was situated. It was on a major trade route, and in addition to the many products and the commodities that passed through the community, there was always a wide variety of philosophers coming through there who traveled through the town presenting and defending their ideologies, what they believed. And they were people who were proud of their ability of argument and debating skills, and they went about doing some things. And in our verse today, Paul describes the contrast, I'll get it right in a minute, contrast between worldly and godly wisdom. The message of the gospel, when we look at that, people can be saved, it is that people can be saved by a crucified Messiah who then rose from the dead and was a religious stumbling block to the Jews and foolish to the Gentiles. And so, you think about all this and going on, but the reality is that the power of God displayed in Jesus' life, death, and resurrection so that we can experience salvation. We experience salvation. It provides evidence of God's surpassing wisdom and strength. So we have that to think about. Kind of comparing Corinthians to many people today, and a lot of people today want to pay more attention to the attractive speaker, how well they speak, and all of that, and teach, than they do the substance of the message. What is the substance of the message? Well, the substance of the message is that Jesus Christ saves. And so, sometimes we are tempted to look to the culture as a source of identity instead of trusting Christ for what has done for us on the cross. We don't want to do that, do we? We don't want to get into that. But you just think about all this. The foolishness of God is wiser than men, and God's not foolish. Let me get to that. And the weakness of God is stronger than man. And God's not weak. He's not weak. He's strong. But if you just think about these things and think about, where are we putting our trust? Let's don't pay attention to, you heard some people speak. I'm not one of those. You heard some people speak. They just have a gift of fluent language and really putting things together. But the bottom line is, what's the message? What's the message? What's the substance of the message? If the substance of the message is not Jesus Christ crucified for the sins of mankind, then it's, or for something for us to live by, something that God says that we need to do, then, it can be foolish. But we thank you for being with us here today. We have services on Sunday morning. Our first service begins at 8. Our Sunday school classes start at 9. Then we get together at 10 o'clock for our second worship service, and then back together on Sunday nights at 6 and Wednesday nights at 7. May God bless you is our prayer.